Yeah.
Yeah.
So my name is Natalia Hryn'ko. I'm a medical doctor, mental health professional, medical psychologist, and also psychotherapist from Ukraine. And I work for 13 years in mental health hospital. And now I'm joined the Ukrainian Catholic University as associate professor at UCU. Today, I'm going to present my topic together with my leader, Pan Oleksandr Avramchuk. So, Alexander, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay, how mentioned, my name is Oleksandr Avramchuk. I am Chief of Department of Clinical Psychology in UCU, and I'm medical psychologist too. And my aspects of this presentation, it's a psychological, some background, or maybe some pathway of solidarity and polarization. And I'm sorry for my pronunciation. It's some problem to communicate in English, and sometimes I joke. I understand all like the dog, but I cannot speak with other. Okay, I can start because I understand that when I more talkable or more jokely, sometimes people don't understand me. Okay, today I want to discuss some psychological aspect of perception of threats and how that to influence and possibility of solidarity. Uh, if I understand, you can see my screen. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, super. We understand that in a modern society, people constantly interact and collaborate with different peoples, with different representatives of a different social group. This interaction require not only empathy or only some tolerance or knowledge some language, but also it require ability to understand how these different aspects of perspectives, beliefs, traditional, they impact on this communication or collaboration process. In ideal world, some we thought that people would evaluate new evidence or new information or new perspectives from other people rationally, objectively, and when they um, meet these new information, they update their beliefs and their facts of changes, they adapt their beliefs, their behavior or other aspects of communication for feeling comfortably. One of aspect that can to align of this process and help understand us, it's a concept of theory of mind. Maybe someone know this psychological framework. We we talk a theory of mind like as not only concept, like as ability, cognitive ability to understand and infer our own and other people's mental states. Like include their beliefs, intentions, emotions, desire, and also thoughts. It is a central component of social cognition, social cooperation, and plays an essential role in successful social interaction. We, in our everyday life, in our routine, we usually rely on um, what we immediately hear or see. We saw something and reacted directly. It's maybe simple formula or formulation. We are used to relying on straightforward cause and consequence logic in their life because it's more appropriate for our brain. It's more resourceful and have maintained another process. Sometimes it's to simplify our communication and we are more understandable in this interaction. But we also understand, and psychological research shows that our mind and our brain that not often work directly, not only using by cause and consequence logic. Usually, our brains received and numerous information every second each time and making it impossible to consciously process everything. Only relatively small part of this information we are aware and consciously available to us for reflection and understanding. Most of this information and so much processing happens automatically and unconsciously level. Our brains interpret their hidden clues, social signs, they make some prediction and guiding our behavior to become more appropriate in situation as a response some triggers or circumstance. Only small aspects of our interaction and our behavior is consciously aware for us. After that, usually we have reflect and recognize what we felt or maybe what some aspect based on our behavior reaction. But usually our real life, our beliefs are shaped not only this critical logic. We understand that how much our emotions, previous experience, and aspects of our social identity, they influence on our beliefs. As a result, information that contradict our beliefs can create resistance instead of reflection and understanding. This process is automatic. This automatic process sometimes become more important when we encounter peoples with different opinions, with different beliefs, with different experience. And instead of simple evaluation, some evidence or arguments and understand the situation and implement this experience in their own life, we often feel some disagreement, like it's something run wrong. In this reaction, it's acceptable and expectable and natural. We understand that this tendency to avoid, sometimes denied or defend our beliefs, it's it's a natural process how our brain and our psyche interpret information in social complicated relations. But these aspects contribute to polarization mechanism and polarization as a concept. Polarization in psychology can be understood as a tendency of thinking and social interaction to strengthen more extreme position. And at the individual level, it manifests like black or white thinking, different extreme sides. At the group level, we writers reinforce some traditional opinions about someone or something. Importantly, polarization rarely develops because people some disagree. It's not only based on disagreement. Instead, it becomes stronger when another group is perceived as threatening our important psychological needs, personal values, or social identities. These raise important question. What cognitive or emotional process transform ordinary social differences into psychological hostility? How they work? One answer lies the way how our brain simplify reality, how they interpret and transform enormous information in some structure, in thoughts and beliefs. Human cognitions depend on some previous experience which structure some cognitive schemes and cognitive shortcuts. Some of my colleagues use the term of cognitive filters. That this mechanism allow us to make quick decision. It's more resourceful for us. But also these shortcuts are maintain our cognitive biases. Although they are normal and adaptive for us, also they can prevent us from evaluating evidence objectively. Sometimes we have experience that how our cognitive biases and our views of which based on previous experience contribute to stereotypical thinking. Also, it's usually emphasize or manifest like as our traditions thinking sometimes interpreted like as a nature law or family superstitions. But we understand that the process and all these mechanisms are not pathological. It's one of crucial aspects. Polarization as a psychological mechanism or cognitive biases is not signs of mental pathology. They are ordinary features of human cognition. All our process, how brain interpret and how to deal with different information in social connection. However, they can create some conditions where which image of oppositing group or some persons becomes increasingly distorted. In these aspects, polarization, it's not some aspects that appear reactively or automatically. We understand that polarization is a mechanism which develop during our accumulation experience. They manifest our previous, sometimes traumatic experience, sometimes positive experience to deal with problem or distress. And also, they accumulate some repeated social influences, some beliefs, religion, political, some families, tradition, opinions, or another aspects, and combine in stable cognitive schemes. In cognitive psychology, cognitive behavioral psychotherapy, Aaron Beck describes these mechanisms, which line of polarization, is a thinking as all or nothing. When we interpret some aspects of our reality or our interaction in terms without considering intermediate possibility, only all or nothing, white or black. Another aspect in the psychodynamic perspectives, a theory of mentalization developed by Peter Fonagy and Anthony Bateman, they understood polarization, which reflect law of mentalization process. The individuals experience their own thoughts and feeling as unquestionably correct, while given consideration in other experience, it's not to it's perceived as like wrong. Maybe I mentioned about theory of mind, and now I mention about mentalization. Theory of minds ask us what happens happening in other person's mind, but mentalization asks what happening in both of our minds in this interaction in this same time. It's like the reflect ability to think, I'm trying to understand what you are feeling and why are you react in the same way and now, and how this relates to me. Is more deeper process which trying to combine different level of our psychological well-being, and also they manifest and influence in our emotional level and our moods and our affective affects dimension. This emotional dimension they becomes important when some disagreements is experienced as a threat. When people no, I try to explain, we usually not only react to objective facts. Sometimes, or maybe most of our time, we react to psychological meaning that these facts carry on. When another group of peoples or some concepts is perceived as threatening our safety, our values, or identity, strong emotion are activated. Angry, fear, sometimes maybe sorrow, or another different emotions. These emotions increase distrust to other people. They move us to avoidance and confrontation in dialogue, during discussion and cooperation. It reduces our openness. And this layer opponent is not longer viewed as simply someone who holds their different opinion. Instead, they may seen as representative a morally unacceptable position, making our perception of these people like a betrayal of fundamental principle in some own previous experience, beliefs, or traditional. Research suggests that beliefs changes of our beliefs depend in maybe on two interaction factors in my concept. It's a one of factors. It's a strength of evidence. Another, it's a level of degree of perceiving identity threats. How we feel that these aspects or beliefs um, can hurt me or maybe my social identity. When evidence is weak and we don't feel some threatened, our beliefs usually remain unchanged. It's some passive aspects that we accumulate some experience, but not to move to some forced new experience or changes in our life. But when evidence are more strong, when we have some positive safety experience of collaboration, or maybe we take some crucial arguments, and we understand that people or other society around us, it's comfortable for us, it's a comfortable it's safety condition, we learn this experience and we use this experience and implement to revise our previous beliefs. We more openness to solidarity and tolerance with some distress or disagreements. However, when our identity, social identity, is threatened, people often respond defensively. Passively or actively, we try to avoid some triggers or circumstances which associated with this negative experience. We want to be safety, and we don't to use more resource to understand this situation in different ways or different perspectives. But when strong evidence becomes or some experience extremely cannot be denied or avoided, our psyche may lose their power to critically understanding and critically thinking. It's like this, our psyche try to avoid to meet some distress of reality as being. This phenomenon we described as identity evidence paradox. It's not a constant term, it's our interpretation. In this situation, when people are not longer defending their arguments or their beliefs, instead they try to protect whole group, trying to protect sense of belonging, protect their dignity or something worthy of position, because some idea from other people, from other social group, they likes to affect it not idea context, but us, our identity. It's hurted not only me, it's hurted my group, my family, my nations, my religion, or my faiths, and other aspects. And this disagreement or different points of views often interpreted as threat rather than normal differences or some reasons. This increasing polarization and reducing opportunities to constructive discussion and conversation. In neuroscience level, these processes become always self-reinforcement. When personal beliefs are challenged by different triggers, our brain may interpret this trigger as a social threat. Brain regions which involved in threat detection, like as amygdala or insula, become more active. At the same time, activity of our prefrontal cortex, which support us cognitive control, self-regulation, emotional regulation, and flexibility and critical thinking, becomes less effective. These cognitive flexibility decreasing and defensive thinking or polarization thinking becomes more likely, more natural, because that trying to use less resources of our brain, our cognition. Under this condition, people also engage like motivating reason. They try to evaluate information, selectively interpret some evidence, which can to fix it or can to maintain their previous existing beliefs or social identity. And when we winning in this debate or some successful defending, or maybe when we defeat our foes using these arguments, our brain take rewards. Brain's reward system activate and reinforcing this condition, increasing to consolidation new experience and new responses in the future. In summarize this thesis, I want to emphasize that threat process and reward mechanism strength while cognitive control weakness. Our polarization as mechanism continues to grow, and this make people less solidarity and tolerance. And this psychological mechanism become especially relevant during emergency situation. War in our country creates objectively high level of external threats. Evolution perspectives can describe that these mechanisms or these challenges and changes in our reaction are adaptive, because it mobilizes our attention, mobilize our resource, strengthen our cohesion within group, and also directs our physiological and psychological resources toward to survival and protection. However, these adaptive mechanisms also have important social consequences. People become more attentive to potential and even natural triggers. They try and interpret ambiguous information as threatening, and that become less tolerance to uncertainty. I'm sorry, uncertainty. Other aspects, while some our communication and interaction with own group strength our cooperation with traditional group, with our family or some closer relations, it also may increase suspicions toward to other groups, to other social people who have different beliefs, who perceived are not fully belonging, or maybe demonstrate some different experience that distinguish us and they. And all this process in circumstances of prolonged traumatic stress in context. In this traumatic stress also associated with persistence mobilization our nervous systems. They also reduced our cognitive resources. We decreased our ability to complex and critical analyzing information and social interaction. Consequently, people rely more simplified explanation and white and black thinking. I'm sorry. Categorical thinking. Oh yeah, I done. And also we know that chronic stress and uncertainty also reduce our interpersonal and institutional trust for other people, for our governments, for our local authorities or local members on other people. While empathy and mentalization may increase focusing in protect our own group, also solidarity between different social groups becomes more difficult. If we understand that polarization maintained by cognitive simplifying and relies by some threat-based emotional reaction, active solidarity require the development of different psychological capacities. These may include cognitive flexibility, perspective taking, emotional regulation, awareness that extends beyond individual experience. Strength forcing and enhance these capacities may not eliminate disagreements between people, but it can transform these disagreements from perceiving it like a threat into opportunity for cooperation and social solidarity. And next, I want to please, Natalia, you can help me and continue your part of presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Oleksandr, for your great talk. I will proceed with my talk, which is about social interest as a core of solidarity. And before that, I usually would like to know my auditory, yes, who are there, but we don't have enough time. So please just put in chat, where are you from? I would like to know. Because before entering the Ukrainian Catholic University, I was teaching at medical institution, students from all over the world. Ghana, Nigeria, India, Egypt. And that's why I'm here providing this talk for you. And I'm also, you know what, proud and honored to be a visitor today, because I'm also graduated of St. Gabriel Institute School of Church Diplomacy and Communication. And I'm going to talk about that's why I like about our department, our program, because we have teachers with different backgrounds. And I often like to listen to Pan Oleksandr because he's really good at talking about neurobiology and cognitions and emotions. And I'm good at, perceiving human being as a whole or holistic because I'm a Adlerian therapist. And Alfred Adler said that we are holistic. Yes, We have like cognition, emotions, and behavior. But for example, emotions are fuel to our actions and indicators to which movement we should choose. But life is a law of movement, and we move it, do not divide in ourselves in different parts. We are born within social interest. We already done. I don't see any as no, don't sleep, everyone. Please put in chat where you're from. I'm gonna check, and I'm gonna give you a home task too. But now I'm gonna switch to my presentation. Can you see my? Okay, sorry. Can you see my slides on a whole screen? Can you see it? Okay, good. Perfect. So I'm going to talk about social interest because it's something which is very important to me. It's a base of Adlerian concepts. We perceive reality subjectively, and it's based on our social interest. And social interest is a core of solidarity because everything is interconnected and we are part of the system, even as an individual. And sometimes when I talk about polarization, so true statements can be true, and polarization is about narrowing our view of the world or a map of the world. And I'm going to talk about solidarity, how to more perceive the world like a shared or more like open-minded. But before that, I would like you to know, what does it mean, social interest? We are born with it, and social interest is like to see the world of with the eyes of the other, listen with the ears of the other, and feel with the heart of the other. It's not the same as empathy, because empathy, when you feel emotions and like to pity or support, no, it's like you see the way it is. And it is also indicator of your mental health well-being, because when you feel good, when you feel good, you would like to help others, and you have so much resource in you that you would like to share this kind of feeling. But when you don't feel good, all your resources are only on your own preservance. You don't have strength to support others. You're just trying to survive by your own. And we can easily recognize someone with a high and low social. First of all, you need to understand we are all born with this, to help others. And sometimes we perceive people who don't like to be and have low social interest because they are discouraged by someone before. They were discouraged by someone before. But still, it is there. So social interest is obvious in those who live creative and productive lives, mastering difficulties and able to cope with challenges. If you see someone who is low or high social interest, you see it's cooperative or competitive. So when you see competitive, it means low social interest. But when you see cooperative and collaboration, you have a high social interest. I remember when I entered, I was first entering the UCU, Ukrainian Catholic University. They have a beautiful proverb at our department. When you want to go quick, if you want to go quick, go on your own. But if you want to go far away, you need to go with others. And this is for me about the community and social interest. We need others to survive, thrive, and grow. All the main problems in life, problems of human cooperation. And for me, it's, we have everything. We are social human beings, and we see ourselves the way others see us. So it is the individual who is not inherited in his human, who has greatest difficulties in life and provides the greatest injury to others. It is among such individuals that all humans fail spring. They are discouraged, and sometimes, you need to understand that the way people are acting towards others is the way are acting towards themselves. It's a both-sided, okay? So it's not about you, it's about them. And when you feel someone who are very inferior or superior, just remember that these are two sides of the same issue, distant from others or distant from the society. So how it is a core of solidarity? I found some links to that. So first of all, it's empathy as a shared reality. Social interest is often defined as seeing and hearing and feeling others, but solidarity is not, it's not a pity or charity, because when you pity or cherry, no, Americans often say, "Don't pity me." It's a position of authority, higher than me. No one likes to be, lower than usual. Everyone want to feel equal on the same level. That's why it's more about feeling that we are on the same level. We are all enough. Can be different, but at the same time, we look at marginalized sufferings and recognize that these sufferings and these struggles are also my struggle. And the second one is cooperation and competition. Adler argued that individuals with a high social interest view the world in the lens of cooperation and rather than hostility or desire to dominate and solidarity. And solidarity means that collective action requires in immediate cooperation and asking a question not like what is it in it for me, but rather how this benefit us. It's completely different lens, but at the same time remembering, we know about our secondary gain. We could not stay where we don't receive something, okay? And I like that Oleksandr said about sometimes that we are experiencing really, really strong emotion, negative. So others said, if the life is law of moment, and we move from self minus to self plus state when we feel equal, connected, and really good. So emotions are indicators. We are on our way or we are out. And sometimes when we feel very strong negative emotion, it means that we need to do something differently. We need to step up, step out. I think it's more correct. And just to do differently. And it doesn't matter what happened to us because we have this ability to give meanings of the events and next time do it differently. That's why the solidarity means I will do now what I have to do. And even if it's imperfect, doesn't matter. Next time I will do differently. This is the courage of being imperfect. Look how it looks like. Competition versus cooperation, okay? Everyone can succeed. And succeed doesn't mean like a succeed from the lens of the official world, but succeed to both sides can benefit. So rather than to be concentrating on ourselves, communication and interaction, it's something created by both sides. It's something between two people or between the society or between the communities. And everything that we perceive in the world, it's a problem of cooperation and communication, just remember. Also, in the lens of solidarity, that it's mutual interdependence. It's not dependence on relying on each other, no. It's interdependence. And it's not independence like parallel lines. No, sometimes I can rely on you and you can rely on me, can trust. I remember, like Oleksandr said, that we have polarization and really strong negative emotion when we need to avoid, when we perceive threat and we don't feel safe. So it's also about safety and threat. So about solidarity, the practical execution of this interdependency when society agrees to fund universal healthcare, public education, disaster relief, it is acting on the social interest principle that with the whole world depends on well-being of the weakest member. So if you think about, for example, today, where you are, think about this is a social, this is a conception of social embeddedness. There's rarely from whom you cannot learn. And right now we are all exchanging our social parts. And you are the average of the all group members. What does it mean? It means come where it's come and be a part of the community which challenges you, which is more enriching with different representatives. And it's also the last one, social interest. It's also antidote of social isolation. Now, social interest is also a term which is Gemeinschaftsgefühl in German, like you feel and embedded with social feeling to interact and communicate with others. But I read a book, an amazing book actually. It's called Togetherness. He talked about Ministry of Health of United States. He's a surgeon. he talks about that actually he thought that he will be dealing with the problems of the health or health issues, but he was dealing with the problems of social isolation. And he defined like loneliness and isolation. He can be surrounded by many people, but feel still lonely and isolated, like detached. Okay. And about solidarity, cultivating social interest act as defensive. It's a basics for existing of society. It fosters a sense of belonging. Okay, if we talk about some metaphorically, solidarity is a structural bridge that holds society together, but social interest is mortar between the bricks. It's like gluing all together and making stronger. And without the internal psychological drive to care for collective external strife, solidarity will collapse. Don't worry, because I would like to share something with you. Social interest is based on 4 social needs. We all have them. And while I will introduce to them, please write down which are the most important for you in chat. So first one, I'll define as belonging, to connect. We need to feel equal with someone, feeling like we are not judged, accepted the way we are, we do not sing the words, we are interact without no like feeling of unsafety. And the next one is improve or capable, when we feel safe enough and we feel connected, belong, and we feel on the same level or horizontal level, because when we talk about polarization, it's a vertical level of existence. Okay, it's inferior or superior, but the horizontal level of existence, if no matter what differences we have, we are already good enough. And two statement can be true, and we can still help each other somehow or be compatible. So improve, it means I can do something for that person, and I'm capable, and I'm also, sometimes we feel detached and lonely within house, but when we do not have such people in our lives. And sometimes we are seeking all life to have such person. And when we meet, it's enough to have at least one who are not judging us and accepting the way we are. So we grow very quickly. And next one is count or be significant, when we feel valued and appreciated for what we are doing. And encouragement on courage, the last C, so basic needs. I can handle what comes. I'm willing to try. I'm resilient. I'm hopeful. So hope is a deep understanding. So whatever I'm doing right now is very meaningful. You know what I feel? I usually was very scary and that I'm full of doubts and thinking that I'm not good enough for whatever I'm doing. But when the war started and I was sitting inside of the shelters, before I was attending different scholarship as a part of it, that's the moment when I realized that I'm not going to leave Ukraine, and for whatever I'm doing, I'm going to do right now. Because, life, I will not be scared. My people showed me that Ukrainians all around the world that you can do even more when you can rely on someone. So right now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but before that, I'm going to divide you on breakout rooms and session. I would like you to think about these core needs, social needs. Now, I don't think you will be divided in 4 groups because it's not too many of you. And please stay with or without camera. But I do understand that with the war, I really appreciate that you are on Saturday evening still here. And growing is very important to you, as the way I see it. So each group will have one question to discuss. First question: have you ever noticed how you feel when you help someone? Discuss when it was last time when you helped someone, and how do you feel about that? Second group: in what ways your work or what you are doing right now is helping others? And third group: when do you feel significant now? Or who can help you, or who is helping you to feel significant? And the last one: what do you do to build your courage today? Courage is something that not you are born with. You build it, your confidence and courage, by day. And when you want to receive something, you first need to give it. Okay? Do not expect from people something that you are not provided them before. Okay, so don't worry. I will copy and paste inside of the chat before, yes, dividing you into.
Something what you were talking about previously. I got what you're talking about the sense of belonging, having some capabilities. What is important to me is, of course, as a family, have a sense of belonging to a nation. No one wants to be
no
nation. Sometimes that those are either revoked in one country. It's a very bad situation to be in, and that's what I'm saying. It gives you a sense of belonging. If you belong to a family, belong to a country, belong among friends, belong to a class like this one, it's very important. That is very important to me. And also feeling like you're capable of doing something rather than not being able to do, either because of your physicality, either you're not able to move, or because you're constrained because of what is happening within the nation, like now what is happening in Ukraine. It is not a good place to be, not a good thing to experience. And my heart goes out to all the Ukrainians. Yeah, we're together, solidarity. Yeah.
You know what? I agree with you. And sense of belonging is the most important need. But sometimes changing country and cutting all your social networks. And I visit in different countries and I meet Ukrainians there, and they do help me to understand that sometimes people is your home. Okay, you bring and you have people carrying with you, and this is your homeland, despite the difficulties in war. So, okay, I will. Yes, thank you for sharing that. It's important just to analyzing what keeps you warm and keep going and supports you when you fall down. You know, social network is keeping you up, despite your efforts not to do that. But yes, but you know what? Because I work in mental health hospital, I do understand something because people sometimes do not clearly themselves, and others can help them to see them. And when you keep by your side people who believe in you and see you even better, you start to behave better and start to, do more or try more because you feel like they're facing you. Okay, 25 seconds. Okay, is everyone there? Still waiting for someone? Thank you so much for sharing everything in chat. Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya. I have some students from there too. And yeah, someone remind me about greetings from Ukraine. Slava Isusu Christu, or glory to Jesus Christ. And I appreciate also about your talk that what are the most important needs and how it was to share in chat room on breaking rooms. Was it helpful? Was it helpful? Sometimes talking about something, we are coming back in memories and feeling the same, okay? And we're reminding us what we do and how we do it. Would like someone to share how it was for him? It's okay, you don't have to, because we still have our presentation. Okay, George, you always are. Okay. So let's back to our presentation. Don't worry, I'm going to share it with you, okay? In life, we have the most important 3 life tasks. And because Daniela mentioned something, so crucial C, so basic needs, and interest in solidarity. Remember that we are holistic, and the most important tasks in life are social tasks. It's our responsibility, both family and friends, our interaction toward others, work tasks, and the task of closeness or intimacy or love and connection. So we are behaving the same way, and all three tasks require all the basic needs. Just it will be a home task, just remember and try to analyze every relationship in your work, with your friends, with your loved and close one. Does your core needs are met or not? Okay, because it requires at least three core needs must be fulfilled. If not, this connection will not last. And also one more trick in order for you to understand will it be polarization or solidarity in interaction with others. So people are showing their lifestyle, not when everything is peaceful and nice and everything is beautiful. No, they're showing their lifestyles and the way they interact in the middle of the crisis. So it's also indicator of how long it will last, how you are behaving, how are you behaved or communicate in the middle of the crisis. If it's about cooperation, that it means that it will be long-lasting relationship and connection. If it's about competition, it means, okay, despite the differences, it will not last long. So each individual needs to connect, capable, count, and have courage in all three tasks to feel successful. And I said that, sometimes because of the war in Ukraine and all the situation going on, people are living and fleeing from the country, changing different places. But still, when you have someone with you, people are your home. Your social connection and interaction. When you fall down, they can support you. And I would like to recommend you that we perceive ourselves through the eyes of the others. It means that you need to need someone by your side who see better in you, who believe in you, do not criticize you. Then you start feeling that you want, even if you are not so beautiful and so perfect and so, I don't know, warm or kind, doesn't matter. If someone believes that you are, you start believing too, you start improving, and doing even more. So success in each task means that we experience a connection in all three. We feel that our skills and talents are appreciated in all three. We know that we are needed and valued in all three, and we feel encouraged in all three. And in success doesn't mean that success in official way. No, it means that we are we are striving for perfection and striving for becoming better and better according to the previous one, us. Solidarity is a structural bridge that holds society together. You, as a part of community, you can make a difference. And it doesn't matter if it's not the same, but you start building your community around you. And sometimes, changes are made by not 100 millions of people, by the courageous one. And without the internal psychological drive to care for collective, external structures of solidarity eventually collapse. So what I want, okay, I don't know what. I would like to show you, war and situation in Ukraine can be a huge challenge, but it's also opportunity to see beauty. So this is how it looks like our shelters in the middle of the world and our social interest. So performing concerts, studying under shelters, sleeping together. Okay, this is how it looked like when it was no electricity and it was no light and no internet, but still, there was some cafeterias and people were trying to gather together and spend some time socializing. This is how children are raised right now. They are trying to help as much as they could people who are on the front line, gather money, painting beautiful pictures about Ukraine, and even surgeries are performed under the first floor. It's me and my colleagues from Australia. We are returning from Australia with scholarship, taking drones with us. And we were asked if we would like to take drones with us. We said, yes, sure. And we need to, you know what, because drones are heavy. And we were asked the day before departure. So we throw away a lot of our clothes, stuff, And to be honest, I've never been happy in my life to help somehow and to do something. And when there was that, we were yes, we were lost, and for quite some time. You just, when you feel lost and frozen, you don't know what to do, and then we start helping, volunteering, and create some about mental health and help the children calm down. And this how it looks like in Lviv. And someone created cars on their own, and even our 10th, 11th pupils are creating drones and winning awards and New York City for it. So, war is still ongoing for us. And I would like to finish, polarization. Just remember that next, that misbehavior is solution of the problem, but not the problem of itself. So, polarization happens when something is not understood and perceived as a threat. So we need to create shared reality. And sometimes you need to effectively communicate. And effective communication, because if you don't understand, you need to ask, what do you mean by that? And effective communication, it doesn't mean how you talk. It means how you understood or how you are understood. So, and I will conclude, when you feel equal, you feel safe. And social homogeneity, it's something that we are experiencing right now. People like oneness of Ukrainians. During World War II, people lived under most trying, disastrous circumstances. When they left their homes in the morning, they didn't know whether they would return or, if they themselves survived, whether their belongings, friends, or relatives would. It was a time of utmost physical insecurity, yet the spirit of the population was startling. A great number of people lived in a state of near elation, and there was little evidence of fear, apprehension, or resentment. What affected the population more than impending danger was the experience of unexpected social closeness. In the bomb shelters, all you are alike, all equal. Differences in wealth, social position, individual skills, and status did not matter. For the first time in their lives, these people, experienced a social homogeneity that broke down the walls that had hit hard to surround each individual and each family. It was Rudolf Dreiko's Social Equality, the Challenge of Today, 1972. So I just want to say that what it feels for Ukrainians right now. And I do believe that you feel it too when you are in danger or you are in threat. So many people are trying to and willing to help, and you are too. So I would like to finish my talk. If you have any questions 2 minutes before the end, respect to time, respect to your borders. You can message me if you want to about your reflections. Oleksandr likes to set threats or dissatisfaction too. I really appreciate your, is this a references? Of course, I will share this material and presentation with you too. I like to, I do not put last slide, thank you, because some of you would not listen to me. But I do appreciate your time on Saturday night. And I do appreciate that you are there and trying to learn about polarization and solidarity. So let's please keep at your mind that when you focus on something, it becomes bigger and more. So I would like to end this talk with your focus on solidarity and its growing impact everywhere. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.